My name is Jayson McDonald. I'm here at the Gladstone doing my solo piece Underbelly for the next 4 days. I am a writer-performer from London, Ontario. Just getting people to come out to it is the first step. It doesn't really seem like it's something that would be everybody's cup of tea. But really, I mean, beyond the source material, it is a very deep exploration of language, what you can do with it, what you can express with it, how it's your enemy, you know. Underbelly is a fevered hallucination inspired by the life and works of William S. Burroughs and the Beats. It's a collection of vignettes basically about William Burroughs' life as it might be told by Burroughs himself, keeping in mind that he's a very unreliable narrator. It's a bit of a trip. It's a bit of a trip. It's a bit of a trip for me, being in this space, in his head, and performing this material. And it's a bit of a trip for the audience. You got to work with it a little bit. You can't just sit here and let the blood pool in your butt and let your brainwaves flatten out. You're not going to get a lot out of it. The more present you are, the more you interact with the words and the images, the more you're going to get out of it. This is rewarding, I think, for the audience who is there to participate. I've been fascinated by the Beats for many, many years. I'm not necessarily inspired by them as a writer, but certainly as like someone who's alive, as an artist. Being alive and being an artist at the dawn of the atomic age is something that I find really fascinating. The anger and the frustration and the outrage at basically having your future stripped away from you by people who could obliterate the planet in the blink of an eye is something that we don't necessarily have to deal with. We don't think about it anymore. It hasn't happened in like 50 years, so we forget that threat looms. But for the Beats, it was very present. It was new. It was like within 10 years. You know, World War II had just happened. It was still fresh in everyone's mind, and it was just a very, very awkward time. And so I'm fascinated by these artists and their efforts to to wrestle some kind of future back from the Warhawks. You know, there's a lot of self-destruction. There's a lot of these stories ended quite poorly. Burroughs miraculously lived to be in his 80s, redefined literary genres, worked with amazing artists through the decades. You know, constantly redefining himself, redefining genre, and an absolutely unknowable guy. And he was an alien, practically. So it's been an interesting process trying to understand him, where he comes from. I don't necessarily know that I do. What the show amounts to is basically kind of how I might see the world, you know, through his eyes.
That was another segment of Black Box Unleashed.